And I would now like to invite our respected chairpersons for the session. On the stage, Dr. Shyam Zawar and Dr. K.P. Ramesh. So I would like to invite our chairpersons on the stage, please, so that we can start with the first technical session on reading. And the speaker for the technical session is Dr. P.P. Dubey. And he will speak on way forward in breeding for increasing productivity of dairy animals.
Mr. P.P. Dubey, who is going to talk on the way forward in breeding for increasing productivity of the dairy animals. So Mr. Dubey, please go ahead.
So today's topic is way forward in breeding for increasing productivity in dairy animals. Actually, this topic, that all information in the slide has been lined up by a brainstorming session that was held in the University of 19. So many experts from outside, from NDDB, Dr. Sujit was there, and some more experts from NDRI, and experts from NBAGR, and also from Dhanuva. So we have just make this collection of some points which is showing some major issues and their solutions in the field of animal genetics and breeding to enhance the productivity of the animals. This is some population dynamics, which is showing some increase population from the last livestock census to this present livestock census. And here we can see the total in cattle population, there is increase in 1.34%, and of course there is huge increase in the population of crossbred animals. And in buffalo also increased by 1.06%. And then here is also we have shown the share of Punjab livestock with the all over country. The share of the buffalo population is affecting here, and cattle population also affecting in the So this is some data like related to milk production in 2020-21 according to 221 million ton milk produced, and out of those 70.4 metric million ton from crossbred and exotic breed contributes 31.8%, and then 20.2% from indigenous cow, 99.6% from buffalo, and rest from goat. So average productivity per cow per year, that is our cow, that is 1,949.8 kgs, and that for buffalo to 2,174.7 kgs. The total milk production of India, that is, of course it is double than USA, but per animal productivity is very low in case of India. Only 9 million cattle on total animal is producing this milk in USA, but in India we can assume we are very far away from that as with respect to per animal milk productivity. So, but we can compare with global average also for the average productivity per cow, that is 2,692 kgs, and now India we can compare with the picture. So we are very not that much in that way, but if you will see the progress per year for the in the respect to milk productivity per animal, so as per the global rate we are going very good. Means our increase is 2.54% for cattle and 2.38% for the buffalo, but globally if you will see it is 1.54 and 1.9 for cattle and buffalo respectively. So that means we are going on a right way with the global data, but this is not only enough. So we have to have some solution for that to enhance the productivity per animal in our country. So this is also a picture of sharing the production performance in the Punjab state. As the milk production is concerned, the Punjab state is top ranked for the per animal productivity and per capita milk availability, that is very high in the Punjab state. So that's why this picture is shown. And this is the average yield per animal in producing, that is the figures in kg per day. So if you see the exotic cattle and indigenous cattle and in buffalo, so if you compare the picture of India and picture of Punjab, so in Punjab it is high. Now this slide is showing that some our species in buffalo, indigenous cattle and Turan cattle also. So we have breed-wise some their strength and some challenges. Some breed is having very good property, some breeds are having property in other way. Earlier we talked about draft animal, but now it is going down because of mechanization and all those things. So there are some challenges like for buffalo there is the data availability. For PT and PS means progeny testing and pedigree selection, we need huge number of data, but that data we don't have in that manner what they have, some developed country they have. And less availability of high genetic merit bull also. This is applicable for all the germplasm what we have in India. We are not having enough number of bulls to breed to cover all the animals. So like in same indigenous cattle also, a draft breed we are having now. Earlier, before few years or 20 years back, if we'll go, that draft animal was a boon for us. But nowadays, a draft animal we are not using, and that animal we have to bear because there is no any culling policies there. So that's why we have to keep those animals which are now not needed nowadays for production point of view. Crossbreed also, they are having some good thing, high milk production, low age at first calving, better feed efficiency, but they are also having some low productive life. Low productive life, only those who are not having the good infrastructure and they are keeping the pure HF and they are keeping the crossbred animal, so that animal is not having good productive life. Management cost, of course, availability of sexed semen is very less. In field farmer they are asking the sexed semen just to save the males because male is not usable nowadays. So more number of to take the more number of female progeny, we need sexed semen in the field condition. The farmer they are asking with good rate of consumption rate, that we have to achieve. And then low disease resistant also some crossbred animal they are facing, and of course stray animal production. So these are some possible way also. We have to improve our data recording system, genomic selection. In later slides I will discuss in detail. Selection for RFI, that is the and then appropriation of high genetic merit bull and use of such semen. For all those we needed such kind of animals. And as far as breeding plan is concerned, already this is widely accepted that selective breeding for pure breeds, either indigenous or developed crossbreed or exotic breeds like HF and Jersey. Application of low yielding animal through high genetic merit bull of pure breeds, not any other non-recognized breeds. We need some pure breeds. These are some developments in India. Already Trivedi sir from NDDP, he has presented very well that NDDP is doing very good. So some collection of information I have kept here just to present it. So I think sir has already elaborated in very nice way. I will skip this slide. Now you can see many projects are going on related to progeny testing, pedigree selection, genomic selection, of course it is going on, and import of bovine germplasm also, strengthening of ARTs. And now the project also it is going on for the sexed semen availability with the various very huge amount of the budget. It is going on all over the country. And now these are some constraints in the field progeny testing program or progeny testing program. There is the lack of financial resources. Earlier we have seen few of the projects that are going on in EICRP only. So that is very limited, even that not that much good data recording system. So that is the major challenge in that. Small herd size. We are going to the farmer whosoever having 4 animal, 5 animal, 10 animal. How to cover those animals to take the data? That is again challenge. Costly and requires large investment for the quite long time. What we are doing, just only few projects going on in India, not that much very large manpower, large financial support. So it is also needed. Data laws to sell of the animal because of less awareness of the farmer. When the animal are tagged, I have seen personally they are selling whenever they are getting little bit higher price. So that we have to make them aware the applicability of animal. And insufficient incentive to the farmer. Why farmer will give the data to us? If they will not get benefited from any society, any agency who is performing the PT in the field, so we have to keep some provision to give good incentive to the farmer so that they will keep the data and they will understand the importance of this data recording system. Then Again, accurate information due to casual milk recorder. Yes, of course, we are deputing the low cost manpower, so and less educated manpower. So the data recording system, that's why it is very poor data because of lack skilled, low skilled manpower in the field. And accurate parental record, even in the field per bull we are having 20 animal record, 50 animal record, but who knows? Till we don't have their parental record, we cannot say the data is true. So our data should be verified with the parental testing of with the bull where inseminated and the progeny of those bulls, which is same or not from where we are getting the data. So it is much required nowadays in field condition. At the farm level, it is going on somewhere. Also at our farm we are testing, but in the field condition it is very less. But keeping these in view with these constraints, there is no way. Even if you will apply the genomic selection, PT data recording is very important to verify time to time. Even up to some extent we can achieve the genetic gain by using the selection of the genomic chip, but if we don't have the data from the field or from the farm, so we cannot validate our developed chip for the real selection of the animal. So that is very much required to running a data recording system parallel with the genomic use of genomic chips. So these are some status, the basic information and what is going on in the genomic selection in the India, and NDDB has already started and they are doing the genomic selection. They have made many chips, but now we need the breed-wise chip. So there I think also they are doing the breed-wise chip, but they need much time. Sir has already mentioned in his lecture that we need the reference population and true data. Without that data and population validation, we can launch a chip. So that's why it is very hard working thing, and then knowledge, skilled person and time taking. So that's why time will come with the help of NDDB or some other government agency also, if they will join the NDDB, so we can have the breed-wise chip in future. So many chip it is going on, and another one, NDLM National Digital Livestock Mission has been started to just the data recording system. And Indicus chip, NDDB also that Buffalo Buff chip and Indigo chip by NIAB Hyderabad has been developed, and these chips are being used. Somewhere they are using, but we need a large number of again that breed-wise chip, and with the reference population data we needed to do work into that. Challenges involved for the Indian condition, if you will see, because India has comes under developing country, so some that is earlier was this technical, but in India we are having a small data size, we are having unreliable phenotypic data, absence of integrated genomic data repositories, we are not having that much, very less number of pedigree and performance recorded at the field level. We have shortage of lead sire also, we are not having that much sire, good number of sires of having the high genetic merit to breed all the population where available, and lack of financial and technological support also, weak data recording infrastructure and varying management practices, because environmental control. One query I have seen, someone has asked what is the role of environmental situation in this. That is also very important thing. If we are using the chip from other country, whether they will working or not, because chip is a combination of different SNPs like in haplotype. Okay, so it may be that one chip if you will select in that North India environment, they may not good for some other area, South India, some other area. So we have to think about also with the geographic situation where our chip is suited. We have to assess also on the basis of environmental system and managemental India. If you will see the many type of people are there, some industrial fellow, so they are having very good infrastructure, some local farmer, small farmer, the same animal cannot perform in the same way at the different places. These are some future visions, what we should do, what should be in our mind. So animal registration and data recording system, that should be in large scale, and that should be covered with the artificial intelligence technology, so that we can keep the data in a very constructive manner, and whenever we require we can use it for the further analysis. breed association in every country, if you'll see, they are having the very good breed association. In India, it is lagging. So it should be. In the breeding index, we are taking only 2-3 traits like milk yield, age, and first calving. Sometimes we are taking 5%, very less. Only research institutions we are doing. So now this is the time to include some other nutritional parameters also. So we have to include some other like milk quality trait, fertility trait of course, and nutritional parameter also like FCR and other parameter we have to use in the selection index for the selecting of the animal parentage testing. Of course, buffalo in India we can promote as a multi-purpose animal, because if you see the backyard, some farmer whosoever is having less area and very less managemental system, they can keep 2, 3, 4, 5 buffalo. That will be, I think, more better than keeping other crossbred and other indigenous breed. So buffalo should be, because buffalo there is a good for meat also, milk also. So there is not a religious taboos behind the buffalo, so we can promote. And the genomic selection parallel with progeny testing, of course, it should be. This is for future. And breeding for disease resistant breed, even crossbreed, many type of disease, they are very afraid to resist. So we have to look into that. Even in crossbred population also, so many strains we have to identify whosoever are very good to resistant with the local disease. And then promoting of ARTs, artificial reproductive technology, including sex semen, with the help of public and private partnership. And continuous review and monitoring of the breeding policies. We are not having as such very good breeding policy which is applicable to the ground root level. It is not. Only just paper it is there, but ground level farmer or other people whatsoever they want to do, they are doing without having the basic knowledge of breeding and these things. So we have to take initiative, make them aware, and we have to review and monitoring the system time to time whether it is implemented at this root level or not. So this is a very big question that is now going on. And then culling policy here in India, large number of population we are having, but we are not having the large number of data. That is the big question. We are having large population, we can see. And if we will talk about data, very less. In our neighbor country also they are having good number of data. So on this we have to think about. And culling of that stray animal, how to manage. Because even though we are culling, those animals are here. Again they are using feed powder and all those things. So what is the meaning of culling? Culling means that animals should be free from there. They should not use the resources. So we have to think about how to use them and how to make them beneficial, economically viable. So it is very important point. I think it should discuss in detail and now apply also in the, and it should be policy. And some breeding strategy, whatever we are doing in the field, so there are some points. Animal identification at the grassroots level and strengthening and coordinating of data collection system and precision data recording it should be, and empowerment of local people for animal identification tools, because some tools are there but that all the people are not very used to use such type of devices. So we have to make some awareness program, some skill program, so too they can apply, they can use such type of software system, some type of tools. And integrated data system should be there. Means what we are having, every farm, government farm, we are having the data, we are having our own data. We are not sharing the data with others. Even they are having the semen from our side, they are taking AI, then animals producing, but the data, whatever they are generated, they are not coordinating. So all government farms should be integrated to manage the data accordingly. So that per bull number of progeny data we will have. So that we will have in future, that we will be in a position to select the very good bull on the basis of data. Monthly regarding with full proof system done by NDDB, it is very good. I have seen that site of INAPH, that is very good data record. Even we can log in and we can register our animal and we can give the data. If we are using the bull from NDDB, from semen from mother, and those animals born our door, then we can put the data into that. So in future it will help to select the good bulls, because they will have the data from every corner and that data will be true. Now improving artificial insemination and veterinary facility also. If you see the total picture of the India, we are covering only 30% of the animal by the AI. Rest of the animal, no AI coverage, only natural mating is there. So it should be. it should be, we have to set some target like sometimes 50%, 60%, 70% and even more. And then establishment of national genetic evaluation system, we don't have any body to evaluate the animals with the data. Everyone is doing as per their own. So we have some similar kind of system, similar kind of software to evaluate our animal at the national level, and that those animals and semen of those animals should be available. Pedigree selection and progeny testing, of course, it is needed and need to be scaled up, and information of different breeds we have to combine together and estimate the breeding value, and then we have to evaluate our animals, male and even female also. We have to evaluate our cow also, and then different kind of selection index. It is available at the only government is when it is not at the farmer level, so we have to provide some index value, ranking value of the animal. One thing is that there should be allow of taurine slaughter for the taurine animals. I don't know whether some policy will be there or not, but it is needed. So,
with these words, thank you very much, Dr. Dubey, and thank you.